stories tonight in Y News. DOTR officials reveal there is no allocated funding for the government's Free Rides initiative under the 2023 National Expenditure Program.
A high-ranking official in the Department of Education admitted the controversial purchase of allegedly outdated and pricey laptops contained errors.
U.S. President Joe Biden announced a massive effort to forgive up to $20,000 in federal student loan debt for Pell Grant recipients and up to $10,000 for other qualifying borrowers.
And NASA will make an attempt to deflect an asteroid off course in September.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Thursday, August 25, 2022. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am Kat Maraos.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media accounts and our website, untvweb.com. I am Maria Latoza.
First in the news. The Department of Transportation says it is open to studying EDSA busway privatization. This was after a management organization sent a proposal to the agency. Asher Kadapan Jr. tells us why.
The EDSA busway provides several advantages to hundreds of thousands of public commuters utilizing the route as well as the city bus operators. But since its construction started about 2 years ago, deficiencies have yet to be resolved accordingly. These include narrow bus stations in the center island of EDSA, unsuitable to the high volume of passengers. There is also the long queues of passengers who at times wait for an hour before it can ride a bus, especially during rush hour. The Management Association of the Philippines explains this as it proposes to privatize the EDSA busway. MAP Infrastructure Committee Eduardo Yap says this is a solution for the government to optimize the improvement of the bus route without having to allocate funds for it.
Kailangan paspasan na po natin ito at nandiyan na ang solusyon. Kaya kailangan bigyan ng todo-todong pansin at fiscal support para matapos itong work in progress sa madaling panahon.
The Department of Transportation says they have received the proposal of the group. DOTR Secretary Jaime Bautista explains they are open to the idea as they also like to augment the buses when the economy becomes normal again.
Pwede nating pag-aralan din yan. No? Actually, yung EDSA busway naman, it's being operated by the private sector, by different operators. No? In fact, there are two consortiums that operate.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board also favors the privatization of EDSA busway.
Itong mga ganitong suggestion natanggap na din po ng aming opisina nitong mga nakaraang linggo, and ito ay isa sa mga dinidiscuss po natin kasi alam nyo naman po basta po sa ikagaganda po ng ating public transport system, syempre bukas po ang aming tanggapan para din po sa ating mananakay. Pero itong pagpapapribado po ng EDSA busway, it's something na siguro it should be lodged with the DOTR kasi it's a policy shift. So babayaan po natin na mag-review. Siyempre gusto natin makasali din sa discussion dyan. At bukas po kami sa mga ganyang.
Should the EDSA busway be privatized, fares of buses operating in the route will also increase to balance the service it will provide. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Officials of the Department of Transportation are asking congressional lawmakers to fund the department's Libreng Sakay or Free Ride program for next year. Eileen Cerudo will tell us why.
There is no budget allotted for providing free rides in the EDSA busway for next year. According to the Department of Transportation, 12 billion pesos is needed to fund the Libreng Sakay program for 2023. However, it was not included in the National Expenditure Program submitted by the Department of Budget and Management to Congress.
We requested 12 billion po for 2023 budget. However, hindi po siya naisama sa National Expenditure Program.
Without sufficient budget, the Libreng Sakay program will only last until December 31, 2022, based on the directive of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Under the service contracting program, the government provide payments to public utility vehicle operators and drivers who are participating in the Libreng Sakay program. During a committee hearing, the DOTR appealed to lawmakers to consider allotting funds for the Libreng Sakay program once budget deliberation starts for the proposed national budget.
We are appealing, of course, to our legislative branch of government kung maari pong mapondohan pa rin po itong service contracting upang next year po ay magkaroon pa ng pondo para sa Libreng Sakay.
According to DOTR, the Libreng Sakay caters to around 250,000 to 300,000 passengers per day. DOTR Secretary Jaime Bautista said they also plan to add more buses in the EDSA carousel to help passengers, especially amid the reopening of face-to-face classes.
Ang ginagastos namin dito ngayon sa Libreng Sakay ay around 10 to 12 million pesos a day, no? And kung dadagdagan natin yung bus na magbibiyahe dyan sa EDSA Carousel, kailangan natin ng mas malaking pondo, no? Unfortunately, hindi kasama yan sa budget natin for 2023.
The DOTR targets to add 50 to 100 bus units in the EDSA busway. Under the National Expenditure Program, DOTR has 167.1 billion pesos allotted funding. This is 120.4% higher compared to the previous budget of more than 75.8 billion pesos. Meanwhile, the department assured it already provided payouts to bus drivers participating in the program. The issue surfaced when there was a delay in the release of government funds to pay bus drivers under the service contracting program. Eileen Cerudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Aside from sugar, salt is currently in limited supply in the Philippines. This is the rationale for the Agriculture Department's inclusion of 100 million pesos for salt production enhancement in the national budget for 2023. Ray Pelayo has the story.
Agriculture Undersecretary Domingo Panganiban declared that he would ask President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to permit the allocation of 100 million pesos to aid local salt production in the upcoming fiscal year. It should be one of the industries that has to be revived, the official stated.
Yung ating production area is hindi lumalaki. Hindi siya nakikita ko na lumiliit dahil from half hectare nagiging pababa na po ba ang area. So kailangan natin ng production dahil para bumaba naman ang ating importation.
The House of Representatives is now considering 3 bills that aims to institutionalize local salt production. One of these is the House Bill 1976, which was submitted by Representative Ronsalo of the Kabayan Party List. The lawmaker claimed that after the implementation of Republic Act 8172 or the SALT law, the industry began to shrink and was unable to compete with imported salt. Currently, the nation imports over 550,000 metric tons of salt for about $330 million or about 93% of its total salt consumption. Jun Mancilla's family is one of the few remaining salt producers in Kawit, Cavite. The farm that they typically use for salt production is used to grow fish during the rainy season. However, he claimed that because of the climate change, it is difficult to produce salt even during the dry season. The warehouse where thousands of salt sacks were once kept is now almost empty.
Aba, noong araw libo ang inaani na kaban. Ngayon wala pa yatang 500 kaban ang inaani. Kaya lugi kami ngayon. Sa iba na nga ang panahon, hindi yung pag sinabing tagaraw ngayon. Yung tagaraw na ulan. Nung araw, talagang pag uminit, init talaga. Mga 3 buwan.
Other salt producers he saw had stopped and sold their land. Tay Pilayo, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
Small retailers are calling on the government to act amid the expensive sugar in the market. Nel Maribuhok will tell us why.
Small retailers around the nation have stated that they intend to sell sugar at much lower prices, similar to the commitment made by major chains who sell their refined sugar for 70 pesos a kilogram. A store owner, Aling Nelly, said that sugar sales at her retail business have declined.
Medyo matumal sa ngayon kasi ang mahal na ng asukal. Ang 1 kilo ng puting asukal 104 na. Tapos yung segunda mano 92. Sana babaan naman niya yung mga presyo ng asukal sa sobrang mahal na ngayon. Matumal na.
Other business owners like Jessica and Vilma pleaded with the government to assist them in coping with the high cost of sugar.
Opo, kasi po dati mura lang talaga yung kilo ng asukal, almost 11, lang, ang 1/4, 11 lang eh. Ngayon sobrang tinaas niya talaga, so hindi afford para sa amin, lalo na sa mga mahihirap.
Mahal po sir mahal talaga kasi ang asukal na kulay white, bali, pumapatak na po ng 100 ang kilo. Tapos yung bintahan namin dito is 28.
Matumal po ba?
Matumal.
Department of Trade and Industry Undersecretary Ruth Castelo says small store owners or retailers are most welcome to join other supermarkets selling white refined sugar at 70 pesos per kilo. Castelo, however, claims that neither benefits nor assistance are given by the government.
Kung okay sa kanila, they can signify their intention para maisali rin natin dun sa programa, and we can also help promote them. Kasi parang ang incentive natin, pinopromote natin itong mga stores na to para puntahan ng tao at doon sila makabili ng murang asukal.
Yusek Castelo explained that the retail chains only receive promotion from the DTI because of the lower prices as part of their corporate social responsibility programs. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
More than 40 million Americans can have their student loan debt forgiven in a plan announced by President Joe Biden. This plan doesn't apply to future college students, but President Biden is proposing another rule to reduce monthly payments on federal student debt. Bianca Quijano will tell us why.
U.S. President Joe Biden is erasing $10,000 federal student loan debt for incomes below $125,000 a year or households earning less than $250,000. He is also canceling a $20,000 debt for those who received federal Pell grants in college. The president also extended a pause on federal student loan payments and will restart in January. He mentioned this to help those who need it the most, the working and middle classes, who were especially hit hard during the pandemic.
Both of these targeted actions are for families who need it the most. Working and middle class people hit especially hard during the pandemic, making under $125,000 a year.
Republicans stated this plan is an insult to Americans who have repaid their debt and those who did not attend college. The Education Department has income data for a small share of borrowers. However, the rest will need to apply for the debt forgiveness plan and can do so until the end of the year. Meanwhile, a U.S. immigrant lauds the student loan relief, which will help her and her fellow students.
I actually don't have a student loan, but I have a Pell grant, a kind of financial aid that do not need to be repaid if you wouldn't withdraw or drop out of your class. But what I could say on this loan forgiveness is that it is a great help since it would be like a grant that which you do not need to repay, and college fees are not just a certain amount of money. Usually those who have this loan would pay it for a long period of time. And these times of pandemic where people are getting sick, others loses their job, there's inflation also, and fees are piling up. This help is a huge cut for someone's financial need.
The plan doesn't apply to future college students, but President Biden is proposing another rule to reduce monthly payments on federal student debt. Bianca Quijano, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine revealed that Pfizer's Paxlovid pill has no effect on younger adults in reducing the severity of coronavirus. Paul Gatchalian will tell us why live. Yes, Paul?
Mariel, Paxlovid pill is effective in reducing 75% of hospitalizations of those aged 65 and above due to COVID-19. But the same cannot be said for those who are younger. The study was conducted in Israel and analyzed the results from 109,000 patients who took the pill and saw that those aged 40 to 65 received no benefits. Pfizer has yet to comment on the study's result. With the recent release of the study's results, it is said to most likely raise questions about the U.S. government's Paxlovid use in their treatment for COVID-19. Though a University of Minnesota researcher and physician, David Bolwer, stated that the Paxlovid pill will continue to be more important for those vulnerable and at high risk of COVID-19. The study, however, has limitations as the data was retrieved from a large Israeli health system instead of conducting a randomized study. But the results clearly depict the ever-changing state of the pandemic, whereby many have developed protection that helps reduce the severity of infection. Back to you, Mariel.
Thank you, Paul Gatchalian, for that live report. A Senate Blue Ribbon Committee inquiry into the overpriced and outdated laptops purchased by the Department of Education has begun. A DepEd official has accepted that the contract contained a mistake. Dante Amento tells us why.
Senate Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman Francis Tolentino disclosed the error in the contract signed by then PS-DBM Chief Lloyd Christopher Lau and former Department of Education Chief Leonor Briones. This amid the controversial acquisition of outdated laptops valued at 2.4 billion pesos. Tolentino informed the panel and the PS-DBM and DepEd resource personnel the Memorandum of Agreement made reference to a specific food and drug law that has no bearing on the purchase of laptops.
And to other regulatory laws like the Food and Drug Law and its IRR. Doon po ako nahulog sa upuan. Bakit po nakasali dito ang Food and Drug Administration? Bakit nakasali po ang Department of Health? Ang pinag-uusapan natin, laptop. Hindi po ito PPE. Hindi po ito medical devices. Hindi po ito medicine.
The legislator believes the contract was crafted hastily using a proforma or template contract.
Ang nakikita ko po rito, nabulaga po yung sa pagmamadali yung mga abogado, inadapt na lang yung dekahon proforma na kontrata, nakalimutan alisin yung FDA. Diba ho? Buti hindi nalagay dito ang face mask. So laptop po yung pinag-uusapan natin.
DepEd Assistant Secretary Attorney Salvador Malana III admitted the mistake. He specifically cited mistakes made by the lawyers who created the MOA. The official also expressed regret for the incident.
It was a mistake to have included Food and Drugs Law on Clause 1.8. And I would also mention, Your Honor, that indeed this emanated from a pro forma contract from DBMPS.
Pro forma.
It was customized for the project, I suppose, Your Honor. Yeah, because there were other...
A laptop is there's a big difference between a laptop and a paracetamol.
Yes, Your Honor. I do agree, Your Honor.
Meanwhile, former PS-DBM Chief Lloyd Christopher Lau said the expensive laptops were due to demand back then when much of the population was engaged in distance learning and work-from-home setup.
Tumaas po kasi ang demand ng laptop on the year 2020. Kasi naubos yung laptop ng PS-DBM, our mid-range, high-end, and the lightweight Pati yung mga desktop natin na naubusan kasi binibili lahat ng agencies. Lumiit yung work in the office, tumaas yung work from home. So everybody was buying laptop, pati yung schools, everybody was going online. So the demand for laptop increased. That's the reason why tumaas yung prices. Nagkaubusan ng stocks.
The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee will continue its investigation into the contentious, overpriced, and out-of-date laptops, which will concentrate on the bidding process. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The House Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms approved the substitute bill seeking to postpone the barangay and sangguniang kabataan elections from December 2022 to the first Monday of December 2023. With 11-0 votes, the panel consolidated more than 30 bills for the BSKE postponement. According to Mountain Province Representative and Chairman of the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms, Maximo Dalog Jr., there is a need to expedite the decision since the scheduled elections is only 100 days away. The Commission on Elections also requested for a decision as it continues to prepare for the election. The lawmaker also said there are benefits in the postponing of the election.
I want to reiterate, however, that postponing the elections, these are two very important objectives: to allow more fellow Filipinos to register as voters through the extension of voters' registration resulting from the postponement, and to allow the government to apply corrective actions on the honoraria of our poll workers whose remunerations are still subject to taxes.
Albay 1st District Representative Edsel Lagman claims that the House of Representatives shouldn't look into the partnership agreement between ABS-CBN and TV5. He adds that the matter may be brought before the Supreme Court if this were to happen. Rosa Licos will tell us why.
Albay 1st District Representative Edsel Lagman advises ABS-CBN and TV5 to stand firm with their partnership deal due to the fact that it has not violated any laws or regulations. Hence, the Congress is therefore without authority to look into it or to put a stop to their joint venture, especially their partnership, which will enhance the current block time agreement between the two media companies. Sagi Party-list Representative Rodante Marcoleta said the deal is a merger and TV5's franchise prohibits a merger with an entity without prior Congress approval.
Itigil na nila ang investigasyon na ito at bigyan ng laya ang ABS-CBN at TV5 na magkontrata at ipagpatuloy ang sa kanilang kasunduan. At kung meron itong paglabag, nandiyan ang Philippine Competition Commission na pwedeng mag-take jurisdiction, hindi merger at hindi to acquisition.
The closing of their agreement was postponed as the two media responded to concerns voiced by some lawmakers and the National Telecommunications Commission. However, if the Congress interferes with the partnership agreement, the issue might be brought before the Supreme Court, according to Congressman Lagman. Additionally, he highlighted the possibility that press freedom and free speech may be undermined as a result of the investigation in the House of Representatives.
That is the power of the Supreme Court at palagay ko naman iyan ay remedy ng mga naaaping mga mamamayan at mga negosyante.
Rosa Licos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A decade after the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear accident in March 2011, the Japanese government now considers building more nuclear reactors. Charis Longbowen will give us the details live. Yes, Charis?
Good evening, Kath. In Japan, Prime Minister Kishida's meeting yesterday on green transformation, he said that the government is planning to explore the development of next-generation nuclear power plants. This is in addition to them considering to restart 7 idle nuclear reactors around Japan. The major policy shift is due to the recent energy situation in the country and its support to reduce carbon emissions. They are also looking into extending the standard 40-year operation limit of nuclear reactors by adding 20 more years if these pass regulator screening and safety upgrades are made. According to Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary, the government considers all options and safety will be a priority when it comes to nuclear power generation.
Securing the safety is going to be the top priority, as has been in the past. For the nuclear power generation, we understand there are various opinions, but for the detailed studies going forward, the METI and the Natural Resource Energy Agency and the experts' opinion will be listened to.
Back to you, Kath.
Thank you, Charis Langbowen, reporting live from Japan.
Despite Australia's commitment to being a net zero greenhouse gas emitting nation, the Australian government has launched offshore petroleum exploration permits under the new leadership of Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. The permits will allow for the use of up to 47,000 square kilometers of Australian waters, including those off the coasts of Victoria, Western Australia, the Northern Territory, and the Ashmore and Cartier Islands. Resources Minister Madeleine King stated that the project will be crucial in securing future energy supplies and advancing international energy security, particularly during the global upheaval brought on by the Russia and Ukraine war. Australia was ranked as the second most coal-dependent nation for power generation. However, the nation aims to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 43% by 2030 and eventually reach net zero by 2050.
The world's first DART spacecraft designed to deflect an asteroid off of its course will undergo testing by the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA. Nerissa Dando tells us the details live. Nerissa?
Good evening, Kath. NASA's Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART, will impact its target asteroid to test planetary defense technology in space. The target asteroid Dimorphos poses no threat to Earth. According to NASA, the mission will allow them to assess whether a spacecraft impact can be used to change the orbit of an asteroid on a collision course to Earth. If everything goes according to plan, this will be the first spacecraft that can defend the Earth against potential asteroid or comet hazards. DART spacecraft will land Dimorphos at 7:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on September 26 and will be live-streamed. Beth?
Thank you, Nerissa Dando, for that live report.
Private hospitals prepare for a potential countrywide spread of the monkeypox virus. JP Nunez reports.
Private hospitals oriented their healthcare workers on the proper detection of individuals with monkeypox symptoms. PHAPI President Dr. Jose Rene de Grano said that awareness among healthcare workers would be a key factor in proper treatment of monkeypox patients.
Ang importante po dyan is awareness at saka detection. Ano po. At anytime po na magkaroon tayo ng suspecha sa isang pasyente na possible na monkeypox, ang ginagawa naman po natin ay ang gagawin po talaga ay isolation kaagad.
Additionally, according to Dr. De Grano, most private hospitals that are taking COVID-19 patients have their own isolation facilities. Once hospitals identify a patient with the monkeypox, this will also be used. Additionally, he mentioned that healthcare professionals have their full set of personal protective equipment to shield them from any viruses.
Tuloy-tuloy naman po ang kanilang paggamit ng kinakailangan natin mga tinatawag na PPE at saka mask. Pinoprovide po yan ng hospital. Nang sa ganun po, maprotektahan sila. Dahil pagka po na-infection ng mga yan, kami din po ang mahihirapan dahil kung sa COVID ba, kailangan at least mag-rest sila ng 7 days, ay di lalo na po kung yung mga ibang sakit po kung mahahawa sila. Opo.
4 confirmed cases of the monkeypox virus have been reported so far in the Philippines. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Kasang Bahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
Before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God from the book of Psalms chapter 9 verse 1. It says, I will praise thee, O Lord, with my whole heart. I will show forth all thy marvelous works. Reasons behind the news, August 25, 2022. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Maria Latoza, reporting live from Perth, Australia.
Because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Kat Dumaraos, live from Bangkok, Thailand. We serve the people, we give glory to God.